What we're really looking for is an ambassador, and you'd like somebody who can really represent South Africa well and do our industry proud.
My name is Colin Lunsky. When I left the Royal Navy, I started in insurance, and then I went and did my NQFs from 4 to 6 through UNISA.
My name is Belisa Muchani. I did a 3-year course, a BCom degree in risk management and economics. I'm currently doing my commercial course with Millpark.
I'm Reese Aaron. I would describe my personality as someone that's very competitive. I also always try and put the best into whatever I do.
Hi, my name is Mitesh Larkar. Started off doing a BCom at Wits University. I then enjoyed insurance the most, and I'm currently a master's student at Wits Business School.
Hello, my name is Jake Pinicini. I attended the University of the Western Cape, where I completed my LLB. I realized how I could apply it to the insurance industry and then consciously made the decision.
My name is Ditebogo Mokhalaboni. I was working in a non-profit organization in education, and I met a lady who introduced me to insurance, and as they say, the rest is history.
My name's Kishan Van Mali. I don't know if insurance chose me or if I chose insurance. Having studied risk management, I thought it would be a good opportunity when it did present itself.
My name is Gillian Riley. In terms of my competition, I probably shouldn't say this, but I think they're all pretty awesome people. I'm worried about Joburg. Joburg's my competition. That's who I'm here to win against.
Yesterday was quite an interesting day because the task given to the contestants was pretty hard, to be honest. The focus being really around evaluation of risk.
So there are 3 of you in the bottom today. And the first person to leave the contest today is Ditebogo.
The feeling in the boardroom, I think there was a bit of shock. I think a few individuals who were named didn't think that they would be named. So there was a little bit of shock, a little bit of panic.
We were not prepared for it. Even if after the announcement came in that we are the one who needs to vote them out, we all thought it's just going to write on a piece of paper. But yeah, it was something else. It was a different experience.
I don't think anybody felt good after that elimination took place. I don't think, it's not to say strategy hasn't kicked in yet, I think it has, but I don't think it felt real to anybody until we physically saw the first person go.
Morning, team.
Morning.
Obviously one short after yesterday's disaster. We may lose somebody again today, so please keep that top of mind as we move through yet another relatively technical task. I would encourage you to ask questions of our guest judges during the task rather than making assumptions. That may ensure that you're not the one going home after today's task. But we're very fortunate to have Marsh as our sponsor again this year. And with us I've got Bridy Paxton and Justin Keevy, and they'll be taking us through today's task. Bridy?
Thanks. So I'm Bridy Paxton. I'm from Marsh, and I head up our client advisory services for Africa. So welcome everyone. Very excited to be here for today. So I think just a bit of context from a Marsh perspective. We obviously focus on risk from end to end. So it's really about understanding the client, understanding what their risks are and what that exposure is for them. It's then taking that and identifying a strategy that's very unique to the client. And that could mean a couple of things. So do you mitigate the risk? Do you transfer the risk? Do you retain the risk? And ultimately you want to get to a point where you're able to add value to the client by delivering results. So that could be saving money for the client, it could be optimizing their capital, enhancing their resilience, but ultimately adding value. So the task today, a very topical issue globally, it's around cyber.
Thanks, Bridy. Justin?
My name is Justin Keevy. I am the Divisional Executive within the Financial Professionals Division at Marsh and Companies, and I look after the Commercial Crime and Cyber Risk Broking and Advisory Practice for Marsh Africa. Thanks very much for affording us the opportunity to engage with you today and sponsor this initiative. As you know, cyber risk and cyber security is extremely topical. It's the #1 growing class of insurance globally. If you look at global risks from 2018, statistics speak to the fact that it's the 3rd behind natural disasters and hurricanes and that type of thing. So the task today is for the apprentices to act as the broker, advising the client, who will be assumed by those roles by us, the judges, regarding a cyber incident occurred. And firstly, we're looking for, as Bridy said, the risk transfer and insurance component is only the last part of the greater holistic risk management cycle. So we're looking for a strategy around cybersecurity and incident framework, and then in the event that there is risk transfer required, what options are available, and to lastly actually quantify the outcome or how much insurance to buy within the market.
Thanks, Justin. Kedi?
Yeah, from my side, I want to reiterate what Simon has said. Do not assume anything. True wisdom is knowing that you don't know anything, okay? And just on a parting note, please remember the client is your business.
Right, thanks, Kedi. Okay, so you'll be split into 2 uneven teams today for obvious reasons. Probably tomorrow it'll be even again. So Team A is Colin, Kishan and Jake, and Team B is Mitesh, Reese, Palesa and Gillian. You're dismissed.
Hello.
Hello, how are you guys going?
Good. Question for you, rather. How's it going?
Yeah. So today my team is quite strong. I've got Jake and I've got Kishan. So Jake's very good legal-wise, and the particular task today is going to involve a little bit of legal with regards to Poppy and some legislation. So I think Jake's going to be quite strong for us from that point of view. And Kishan's also, he's just so composed. So and we work off each other quite now. So I feel quite comfortable with our team, and I hope we're going to do well.
It's an existing client.
So remember, we have other insurances in place. Just not cyber.
At the moment, we're at risk for a professional.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
I think the judges are very knowledgeable. They are specialists in their field of cyber crime and cyber liability, and we as the apprentices can learn quite a bit from them.
So, and you said it's your field. What did you say? First loss. What did you call the
first loss notification?
First loss notification.
First party costs.
First party costs.
Yes.
Yesterday I voted Reese off, and today he's in my team again. But then because of we're doing a group task, and it's not about me, it's not about anyone, it's all about the team, and we have to work together as a team. And first and foremost, we need to win as a team so that no one is in the bottom.
So I'm just
What we have done is that we have split questions amongst ourselves.
Oh, I see.
And then in the later stage, we'll come together and
reassess.
Look through who got what and try to help wherever it's needed. And yeah.
Having Colin in my team is actually a positive for me because he's a strong contender, and if you're in the winning team, you can sit a lot easier. So I don't mind. I'll play a supportive role when the time calls for it, and I'll play a leading role if I truly know the content better than anyone else in my team.
Okay, guys, change of plans. You've got 5 minutes. We're ready for you for your presentation.
Oh, what?
Yeah, now in the next 5.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you sure you're ready?
No, not sure.
But we need you in 5 minutes.
Choice.
We need you.
Thank you.
Okay. Right, you've got 30 minutes to go.
Because of the way we're tackling the task, all of us are individually handling different research components, and then during the last hour, we're all going to come together and work on every single question together. So it's difficult to say who's contributed the least at the moment. I can't say it's Reese, and the only other two would be Palesa and Mitesh.
Okay, guys.
Yes.
There's been a change of plan.
What?
We need your presentations in the next 5 minutes.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Happy?
Yeah, you got 5 minutes to go.
Cool. Okay. We can do it.
We have mixed reactions to that.
Mixed reactions, but we got to just do what we got to do.
Okay, all right.
Presentation ready? I'm
excited.
You're excited? I'm nervous, but I think we got this.
Okay, you got 30 minutes.
I feel like the task, I don't want to call it too early, but might be a bit more up our alley and our expertise of our team, and that we would possibly have the best chance today compared to the previous tasks.
So we can use this competence to try and...
Today's tasks has been quite difficult. It's dealing with a client in strife, and we as a broker have made a mistake. So it's balancing the two, providing them with a solution as well as trying to avoid any recourse from them.
Good afternoon. We've received an interesting email from you guys regarding a recent ransomware attack. And the purpose of this meeting is to show you ways that in future we can find ways to transfer the risk and also risk management to prevent this from happening.
We're kind of dealing with a crisis here, guys, and you're making it sound like this is a renewal meeting or something. I hope we're going to experience a little more empathy from you.
We do empathise with the loss that you've experienced, but looking back at the ROI when the assets and liabilities policy was issued, cyber cover was discussed and was not taken up at that point.
But let me stop you right there. You got an email from us. Why did you wait for us to call you into this meeting?
Do you understand the difficult situation that you've put us in?
I'd like to just jump in here and just say, from this perspective, look, I look at the financials. So, I mean, as much as I'm involved in the entire proposal itself, I really do feel that the level of empathy that needs to be shown to you needs to be taken offline in a separate meeting. And I do think that we need to look at it.
I've lost clients.
Yes.
I've lost clients.
I understand.
Because you need not give me advice.
Correct.
What are you going to do going forward? How are you going to stop this from happening? And actually, I'm not sure if we're going to get to this in the presentation, but would this event have actually been covered if we had a cyber policy in place?
Most definitely. So a cyber policy will cover you for any liability arising out of data or the use of technology. And in this case, it was a ransomware attack, which then resulted in your client's information being hacked. So the cyber insurance solution that's available in the market, which will transfer the risk from yourself to an underwriter, would protect you against these type of losses.
Can I say something? On the financial loss side of things, can we please, we as a team will go back and come back to you guys as our client to give you a plan on how we're gonna tackle that financial loss that you as a client, that we respect, and how we're going to tackle that issue of your financial loss that you have experienced. We'll come back and we'll try to resolve that plan.
If we can get the policy in place now, it's not an exclusion at the moment.
Okay, guys. Thanks so much for your time. We'll get back to you.
Thank you.
You're dismissed.
Thank you.
What's your impression, first impression of that group?
So I think firstly they came in and they clearly got over the past couple of days the whole empathy thing. So how they tried to bring that was to say, we're bringing empathy.
Yes.
I'm like, well, that is not how we do it.
Yeah.
So they were aware of it, but the way they did it was just not
It was
right.
very artificial.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, just starting off by just telling us you're sorry instead of saying, here's what we've got. We note this, we note that, we appreciate these issues and all that, and get to the point. Exactly. They actually allowed us to attack them.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, someone needed to say, look, we had a record of advice, you signed that you didn't want it, and that would have been the end of the conversation.
And here's the plan.
Thank you very much for allowing us this appointment today. We appreciate that you've been through a very difficult time recently, and the first thing I want to get across as your broker, that we're here to assist you in any possible way. One of the things that we've discussed and put forward is We've got our PR team, which is available to help you in, mitigate any further losses, because our biggest concern is your consumer confidence, and that's something that we want to try and get into control.
Guys, before we go on, why was this not done a year ago?
So what we have done is we looked back at the renewal last year, and we're trying to see why it was missed and how it was missed. Once we've got that information, we'll be able to come back and report to you.
How long is that going to take? Surely you come prepared for this meeting?
Are you saying as a global broker, you haven't seen trends, that we're the only medical aid type of business that's on your books, and you haven't implemented other risk management and risk transfer options and strategies for other clients that's within your portfolio? Why are we left out?
So what we have seen those trends, and what we've done is we've brought those trends to you now. So would you like to cover on some of the trends that some of the solutions
that occur? We've seen a large increase in the number of cyber incidents that occur. At the moment, a number of the incidents are occurring in the USA and Europe. However, Africa, due to its vulnerability, is starting to see an increase in the number of incidents. Recently, we've seen a local service provider that was hit as well, and this
telecommunication service provider was recently hit.
Telecommunication services providers as well. So the trend is increasing now, especially in our region.
We were looking at our insurance program that we have in place at the moment, and we can't really wrap our heads around why. I mean, if we've had an interruption in our business and it's caused us a loss of profits, why isn't that covered under our assets program? We've got a business interruption policy.
The ransomware attack is not covered under the assets and liabilities policy, because these focus primarily on the physical damage as opposed to the data breach or ransomware attacks, as is the case in this instance. In order for this to be covered, one needs to take out a specialized cyber policy which will cover physical damage, business interruption.
You should just give us that to read. Then you wouldn't have to do it. Do you not know this stuff?
I do, but I would like to do it as I prepared.
Okay, carry on.
Thank you very much. As I was saying, this would include physical damage, business interruption, incident response, mitigation, as well as legal liability stemming from the data breach.
Thanks, guys. You're dismissed.
Thank you very much for meeting with us today, and we look forward to getting back to you with those other two on.
Thank you. Hope we're still in business. All right, guys.
A much stronger team, I must say.
Better experience.
Much stronger. Without a doubt. They came in definitely with the right approach. They spoke holistically about risk. They didn't lean towards either side. Yeah, much stronger.
And they could answer all the questions that we had. Where they didn't, acknowledge we don't have it, we'll get back to you.
They didn't hand anything out either, which I think would have been better. That was definitely something they could have.
I think that's a really good point, because one of the questions is obviously the quantification. Yeah. So they should have geared the conversation around they needed to finish up there what they needed to discuss in the amount of time. So did they just not do this?
Justin, you happy?
Yep, very happy.
Bridy?
I am. Yeah,
Kedi? Good. Okay, let's get them back in here. You're almost through task 3. I want to thank Marsh once again for being our sponsors today. And I think we should just jump straight back into the feedback. Justin?
Thanks, Simon. I thought both groups did extremely well today. Cyber in the South African context, although it's been around since 2011, it's still relatively new. It's a very specialist space, both from insurance and from a service provider perspective. So I thought that there was very good positives that came out of both sessions. So thank you for that. I liked that the one group focused on the risk management strategy rather than the insurance specifically. As I said earlier, the insurance side and the risk transfer side is really the last component of holistic risk management. So I'm glad that came through. Just a negative in terms of the one group was a lack of technical research around some of the technical questions we threw at you surrounding whether this type of loss could be covered elsewhere by the insurance program and portfolio. And I think the empathy thing didn't, and the theme around empathy did not come through sincerely enough. You're sitting with a board at a client who has had suffered a considerable financial loss. They haven't had any risk transfer, risk management in place, relying on the broker as an outsourced risk manager. And I feel as though that theme didn't come through. The other group, I found that the confidence certainly was a theme that came through. They were confident about the topic. They conducted themselves in a very confident manner, and I think that was quite reassuring to see. And there was also a focus on the technical ability, so we did throw out some technical questions and they were responded to very adequately, and I was very impressed with that. But all in all, I commend you guys. I thought it was really, really spectacular in a difficult space and difficult type of insurance or class of insurance, so well done on both groups.
Thanks, Justin. Bridy?
So yes, well done to both groups. I think the task today was not an easy one. However, for me, I do think that there was one group that stood out amongst the two. I think the task today and my focus was really seeing whether you looked at the task from an overall end-to-end risk management process. So, like Justin said, not only the insurance, but where do we start? What is the strategy that you brought to the client? One of the groups we also, and I think I did warn around that, was you clearly did prepare in pockets, and that came through very clearly in terms of how you delivered. So each one had something to say, but there was no connection or golden thread through that. It was also about your approach. Remember, you're dealing with the CEO that is in complete distress. So the one group, yes, you empathized, but you're like, I'm empathizing with you. It was so fake, which frustrates the client even more. Okay, so be real. I think the one group also showed the sense of urgency of the situation and not coming in to say, well, let's have a nice discussion and then we can have another meeting. No, I'm in a crisis right now. What do I do? And don't blabber on and on and on. Get to the point. What do I need to do now? And that also goes back to understanding your audience. You're not necessarily dealing with a risk manager that wants to know all the technical detail. I'm the CEO. Give me a summary. Get to the point. I'm busy. But overall, I think, each of you brought something to the party. And I know it was not easy, and I know we had some very difficult judges. But at the end of the day, it's what you take out of this process and really develop from there. And you're in a unique position to be where you are today. So whatever happens, embrace that and learn from the experience. So well done.
Right, thanks, Bridy. Kedi?
Yeah, mine is very brief. Earlier when I started, I said to you guys, remember your client is your business. Okay, always keep in mind that when you're dealing with your client, they expect the best out of you. Now, don't bring in people who are still going to refer. Bring in the experts. We're in a crisis here. I don't have time for backwards and forwards. Bring in your consulting team. Bring everyone that you can pull, because you have not given me this and I'm in panic mode. So you need to make sure that when you come in, you just plug in the holes. Okay.
Thanks, Kedi. In terms of, I think that our guest judges were perhaps a little more generous than I would be. But what I would like to say is that today we do have a winning group. One group definitely stood head and shoulders above the other. The content was good, the delivery was good, and you really steered the meeting back on track, because you were dealing with an irate group of people who'd suffered an uninsured loss, and you managed to recover from that and move the meeting in the direction that it needed to go in, and that's a skill. So the winning group today is Colin, Kishan and Jake. So well done, guys. You took a very difficult subject and you owned it. So yeah, you're deserving winners, and all of you are safe today. We are going to be letting somebody go today, so the rest of you, you are at risk. So before I tell you who's in the bottom two, if any of you have a reinstatement card, your immunity for the day, now is the time to play it. Bear in mind that after today you can't use the card at all. So if it is any of the four of you, now would be a good time. Balesa, you have it?
Yes, I do.
Okay, that means you're immune today.
Thank you.
Okay, between the three of you, the two lowest scores were Gillian and Reese. And unfortunately, this is the end of the road for you, Reese. You're dismissed.
I feel really disappointed, but it's a competition and sometimes you lose, sometimes you win. I'd just like to say thank you to FA News. Thank you to the Apprentice. It's been an amazing journey. I take a lot out of this competition. My knowledge levels have exploded out of the box, and it's really a great initiative, especially for the young talent coming into the industry. So thanks to all the judges. They've really put me into a different way of thinking.
It's getting tough now, guys. You have to bring your A game every day. I told you that on the first day, and you don't get second chances. So maybe just go home and think about that today, and I'll see you all tomorrow. You're dismissed.
So in terms of my expectation of bottom two, I absolutely expected that I'd be there. Had it not been for the card, it would have been myself and Palesa without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, I think both of us in terms of contribution, look, from a research perspective, I definitely did as well as I could with the task at hand and the time given, but in terms of contribution in the actual room, which is really what matters, definitely the two ladies were in the bottom, but of course that's not how the game went.
Winning team, fantastic feeling. It was a very difficult task. I actually had a very strong team and just happy not to be in elimination.
It's sad to see people have to leave. At the end of the day, it's a competition, but I think, you know, it's about embracing the process and taking from it so that you can continue and develop and grow.